how hard it can be to breathe with COPD? It can feel like this. COPD includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Spiriva is a once-daily inhaled COPD maintenance treatment that helps open my airways for a full 24 hours. You know, Spiriva helps me breathe easier.
Spiriva HandiHaler tiotropium bromide inhalation powder does not replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor if you have kidney problems, glaucoma, trouble urinating, or an enlarged prostate. These may worsen with Spiriva. Discuss all medicines you take, even eye drops. Stop taking Spiriva and seek immediate medical help if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes or eye pain, or problems passing urine. Other side effects include dry mouth and constipation.
Nothing can reverse COPD. Spiriva helps me breathe better.
Does breathing with COPD weigh you down? Don't wait to ask your doctor about Spiriva HandiHaler.
New Jersey's Governor Chris Christie is giving an update on the state's preparedness ahead of Winter Storm Juno.
Let's listen in.
The center is activated by the state police and was activated last night to exchange information. So we all feel like we know how to do this. This is going to be a lot of snow, no matter how you add it up. And so we're going to be challenged, but we feel like we're prepared and we're ready. And if you all stay home and help, that'll make things significantly safer for you and your family, and significantly easier for the men and women who are going to be working hard to try to restore New Jersey to normalcy after the storm is over. So I thank all of you for your time, and I can take a few questions. Or not. Fabulous. No questions. Yes?
There may be more snow up north than down south. How does that affect your planning? Is it affecting your planning right now?
Sure, because we're aware of it, David, and so we'll have more of our equipment available in the places where we expect the largest accumulations of snow. And so it definitely affects us, and obviously we have to continue because this storm is an offshore event that can change rather rapidly. So we're having regular conference calls every few hours with the National Weather Service, with our leadership, to make sure that we have the best information we can have. That's the best information we have right now, and we'll certainly respond accordingly with our allocation of resources.
Right now, the biggest concern, snow accumulations, or is it?
It's snow and wind, because the combination of winds that could go as high as 50 to 60 miles an hour creates no visibility, first off, for people who are out there. So for our crews, who have to be out there working, that's a really difficult circumstance. And the drifting, blowing and drifting of snow in terms of moving it and keeping it off the roadways is also a real challenge. So it's not just the level of snow, but it's also the wind. And then that wind also plays into the power outage situation. It's not supposed to be a heavy wet snow, so we shouldn't have those problems as we've had before. But because of the winds, it may affect power outages much more significantly than the snow might.
Your expectation related to flooding and the condition of the
Commissioner Martin has been in touch with, and they're doing inspections of all of those different shore areas now to see how they're prepared from a beach perspective. And I'll be talking to the commissioner again later on today to get a report on that. But obviously we have because of the winds in particular, we have a potential for some flooding situations in Monmouth and Ocean County. So we're not only concerned about snow down there, but we're also concerned about flooding Monmouth, Ocean, and the Bay Shore in Middlesex. So the commissioner is in the process, along with his staff, of reviewing all that, and we're obviously concerned about it, and we may have more to say later about that after I get the results of his inspection. Well, listen, first off, we're asking everybody not to drive unless you have to, so that the folks behind me can do their jobs. But we'll make those decisions as time goes on. We work very hard here not to close the New Jersey Turnpike because of it's the nature is such an important part of the north-south artery here in this country. So folks at New Jersey Turnpike Authority and DOT are going to work very hard to make sure we don't have to do that. But if conditions warrant, we think are dangerous enough, they'll bring to me the idea of closing certain roadways, and I'll make those decisions based upon the information we get, based on the conditions at the time. So it's not off the table, but we're not doing that proactively right now. Well, what will happen is around 10 o'clock tonight, when we believe we'll have everybody who's at work today home, we're going to close down the service on NJ Transit. It's just, given what they're telling us, that overnight you could have 2 to 4 inches an hour. It just doesn't make sense for us to be running those transit trains and buses in that way. So we've made the decision to close down NJ Transit at 10 o'clock, and we'll see how the storm goes from there as to when we will reopen and restart. But I think by 10 o'clock tonight, we should have everybody, given all the advance warning we've had, everybody who has been working home. And once we do that, then we want to make sure we close it down so that we can get it reopened as quickly as we possibly can. Well, it says that there are a group of people who want to be supportive of me continuing to look at the problems in the country, and so I'm happy that they want to do that. I'm honored that they've asked me to be the honorary chair of it, and it'll proceed as it proceeds, and we'll see. But nothing more than that. Yes. Why wouldn't I be? Thank you. Other questions? All right, good. Yes, sir.
Do you have any immediate transfer fundraisers with your PAC?
You could, Matt, you can call the PAC and ask them what their plans are. Any other questions? No, it's apparently the opening of a federal PAC.
So not only is the New Jersey governor speaking, we also have Governor Cuomo speaking right now. We're going to jump press conferences and listen to his information now.
We have early service, and we are anticipating at this time closing the Metro North and LIRR service at 11 p.m. That is the current plan. We will confirm these after the 4 o'clock weather advisory. But if nothing changes, we plan to stop service at Metro North and the LIRR at 11 o'clock for the same reason, so the trains can be put in a place that is safe from the weather. The path will operate on the usual schedule at 9 o'clock. The path will go on weekend schedule, so a reduced time frame currently set for 9 o'clock. We will have a tractor-trailer ban on the main state roads 84, 287, Thruway south of exit 17. That will go into effect at 4 o'clock. Tractor-trailer ban on those roads. We are considering at this time a travel ban on all main roads starting at 11 o'clock tonight. Again, to be confirmed after the 4 o'clock weather advisory when we have the most updated weather. The closing of the roads is a safety precaution. It's never an easy decision. You close the roads, people can't travel. Some people find it an inconvenience. If you leave the roads open, people can get stuck on the roads. We've had some potentially dangerous situations where people have gotten stuck on the roads during the course of a storm. And we haven't had any tragedies, but very close to it. So this is not a storm to take lightly, and we're taking what we believe are prudent measures. The times I gave you today, again, are based on the information we have at this time. As you know from the weather reports, they change from time to time. 4 o'clock, we'll get the most recent update, and then we'll confirm or adjust these times at that time, about 4:15, 4:30, right after we get the 4 o'clock broadcast. With that, I'll turn it over to questions.
Governor, at what point after 4 p.m. do you think you would actually shut down completely subways, Long Island Railroad, Metro North, and that?
Well, the subways we're talking about operating until 7, 8 o'clock. I'll ask Chairman Prendergast if he wants to expand on that. and at that point have a limited service, but again, depending on what we hear at 4 o'clock, Metro North, Long Island Railroad, 11 o'clock at this point, closing the system down to protect the trains. But Tom, do you want to speak to that?
Sure, Governor. We're going to put a Plan 5 in effect, which occurs when we have a storm of this magnitude. So as the end of the rush hour occurs, we lay the fleet up underground overnight, primarily on express tracks, and that limits our ability to run the full complement of service. That's what the governor's talking about. Service starts to get reduced. So there will be service out there, especially in the underground portions. We've changed our buses and our vehicles so they could make sure they can accommodate the snow accumulations that may occur on the street. And in terms of the commuter rail, where we're exposed outdoors, telling people that travel after 11 o'clock, we need to protect that equipment. It would be treacherous, and they should be home at that time.
Governor Malloy has issued a travel ban on all roads after 9 p.m. So if folks are on a Metro North that gets them to Connecticut after that time, they have to then drive their car to get home. How does that work with their synchronization with the other ends of the railroads at this point?
Well, other ends of the railroad, yes. Your point is other states. Obviously, every state makes their own decision, and different states are anticipating different levels of the storm. Connecticut is supposed to be very badly hit. And Connecticut, for us, is comparable to Long Island and really the eastern tip of Long Island. So Connecticut has put a travel ban on all roads in effect at roughly 9 o'clock. We are considering, as I mentioned, a total travel ban at 11 p.m., depending on the 4 o'clock weather advisory. But in terms of Connecticut's decision, they are going to get hit.
All right, we've been listening to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, of course, laying out the plan for all of the residents of his state to be prepared, urging everyone to come to completion with all of their preparations as they get ready for Winter Storm Juno. It is moving up the coast. Already we have reports of a little bit of light snow in the New York City area, but this is just the beginning because Boston will get impacted very much as well. Juno impacts the Boston area. We're talking about as much as 1 foot, 2 feet of snow before all is said and done. Not reporting snow right now in the Boston area as the center of the storm is well to the south, just moving off the coast of North Carolina and Virginia. But eventually, all of the heavy snow, that cold air is in place. Those winds will be a huge factor overnight tonight, say between midnight tonight and 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when things are really going to start to ramp up, and all through tomorrow afternoon. We're talking about those persistent northeast winds getting stronger and stronger. Again, as you can see, we're talking up to 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds expected here along the New England coast, and that's what's adding to the potential for blizzard conditions throughout the day tomorrow for sure, as those winds will be a huge factor, blowing and drifting of the snow and reducing visibility down to less than a quarter of a mile and even blinding conditions at times. Again, here's a look at the snowfall forecast. As much as 2 feet are possible here in the eastern parts of Massachusetts, and it does include the Boston area. So we're watching this region very closely again, starting later on tonight, and then those winds will really be a big factor. And look at the temperatures. We have very cold air in place in the upper teens, low 20s. So huge concerns all across the Northeast, in particular New England. Mark?
And Viv, let's put this historic blizzard into some context for you. We're talking the Northeast, and the last time we had a storm of this magnitude, it was Winter Storm Nemo back in early February of 2013. So it's been a while. But if you remember back, what you're looking at here, even further back, this is from the blizzard of '96. If you were in the New York City area, the last time you had a magnitude storm like this, it was way back. This could rival that historic blizzard of '96. I was in New Jersey then, and let me tell you, that is a storm we still talk about. So if you were in the tri-state area then, you will definitely remember this storm. And Juno could be worse than that in many locations. Long Island up through Boston, historic snow. We're going to give you hour-by-hour details when we return.
Why are you all here? To learn, right? So you can get a good job, so you're not working for peanuts. Well, what if I told you that peanuts can work for you? While you guys were busy napping, peanuts are delivering 7 grams of protein and 6 essential nutrients right to your mouth. You ever seen a peanut take a day off? No. Peanuts don't even get casual khaki Fridays because peanuts take their job seriously. So unless you want a life of skimming Wi-Fi off the neighbors, you'll harness the hard-working power of the peanut.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that former pro football player Ickey Woods will celebrate almost anything?
Number 44.
Woo! 44, that's me!
Get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts.
Woo! Give me some!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
44, ladies, that's me! Woo! Gonna get some cold cuts today.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantore, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 72. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 49. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 71. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stay with us for the latest on Winter Storm Juno.
Just absolutely unbearable.
We're live from across the region with more in a moment. Only the Weather Channel.
Right now, a live look at the Washington, D.C. area. Of course, we are poised and getting ready. The winds are already picking up. You can see those low clouds in the area. D.C. not expected to get much in terms of the brunt of this storm, but from, say, Philadelphia northward into New England, we're talking about very, very heavy snow and blowing snow. Blizzard conditions for the New York City area, Boston, all areas in between, even a little farther north. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Mark Elliott, and we are here throughout the afternoon to take you hour by hour as you prepare. This is the end of your preparation time, right? We've got a beast of a storm, Winter Storm Juno, knocking on the doorstep. Here's what you need to know right now about Winter Storm Juno.
Now, I'll tell you what, the National Weather Service says that 29 million people are facing blizzard warnings today. Both New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker declared a state of emergency today ahead of Winter Storm Juno.
New Jersey utilities are mobilizing their workers and their crews ahead of Juno, and they are asking for the mutual assistance of 200 additional linemen from neighboring states that aren't being impacted as hard. United Airlines is canceling all flights at the 5 Northeast airports for Tuesday. Those are Newark Liberty International, LaGuardia, JFK, Philly, and Boston, all canceled. Now, Boston Logan Airport is now saying there will be no flights after 7 tonight. They are anticipating staying open, but with no flights going in or out, there won't be much traffic there. Flights return late on Wednesday.
Yeah, huge concerns now as we go through the next 36 to 48 hours. Here are the winter weather advisories that have been issued. Again, the darker blue, that's indicating where we have winter storm warnings. Now, a warning means that winter storm conditions, meaning blowing snow, very, very cold air, will be pushing in within a matter of 24 hours. Look at the blizzard warnings. The time frame is the same. Within 24 hours, anticipating blizzard conditions right along the coast there of Maine, including the eastern parts of Massachusetts. There you see Boston, Providence, Rhode Island included here, even down to the New York City area. We are talking about blizzard conditions expected within 24 hours. Here's Mark with more.
Yeah, well over 25 million of you underneath those blizzard warnings. So let's go into some of the details here, the nitty-gritty for Winter Storm Juno, because you need to know what's coming so you can prepare. We look at New York. This is the New York snowfall on record, right? The biggest snowfalls there's been. February back in 2006, 26.9 inches, an epic storm there. The blizzard of 96 early January down at the end of the top 5, 20 inches of snow. But there is a potential here, especially from New York and just north and east from there, for just gargantuan amounts of snowfall. We already have some of these bands working their way in. This is the teaser round, right? This is setting the stage. But what it means is that some of these roads are already going to be slick. If you're on 278 or east on 678, you will certainly be seeing some nasty storm totals here. East and north from New York City will be the brunt of this heavy, heavy snow. The wide view showing you that we have this light snow in and around the area. Philly, New York, Hartford. It's snowing up where Mike Seidel is. We're going to talk to him soon. Zooming out just a little bit, here's the storm, right? This is the water vapor, the amount of moisture in the air. And all these pinks, notice how they are blossoming off the coast. The amount of water in this system is gargantuan. That is going to help assist those huge snowfall amounts. So here's how it breaks down. Starting out at 1 o'clock this afternoon, light snow overspreads the area, but by tonight, by 10 o'clock, you get into the worst of it in New York City, and it continues from there. Boston lingering longer. This is the long duration part of this storm. Our low slows down off the coast. So Boston, you're going to be in the heart of this thing from late tonight all the way through Tuesday. That's why we're looking at epic totals there, well over 2 feet. Someone in here could see 20 to 30, even 35 inches of snow before all is said and done. New York, a tough call. You're right on the edge of some of those heaviest snowfall totals. But Viv, look at Boston, right? Here's the tides. That's important too. Onshore flow means coastal flooding. We're going to talk about that as the show goes on. Over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Mark. Well, we want you to know that throughout the hour, we will be city specific. At 40 past the hour, in less than 10 minutes, Providence, Rhode Island, we're taking you hour by hour so you know exactly what's headed your way. First, though, we've got teams blanketing the East Coast for this historic blizzard. That includes Mike Seidel along the Massachusetts coast in the Plymouth area, and he updates us now with the latest. Mike, official reports of a little bit of light snow right now. Tell us more.
Yes, we've had some flakes flying through here, but that's it. You can see the ground is basically bare. They had some snow on Sunday from Iola, but then it changed to rain and washed it away. You know, this piece of this old tree that's become almost petrified and like a big piece of driftwood, you know, this thing has seen some big storms, and this may be one of the biggest it takes as we get through tonight and tomorrow. The worst of the weather here will be for midnight tonight until about 5 to 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This is a long duration event. We've got the blizzard warnings up from 7 tonight until 1 a.m. Wednesday morning, late tomorrow night. So a long time we're going to have to deal with strong winds and certainly blinding snow. The wind's going to come right off here, right off the Atlantic across the harbor. We do have the harbor, and we do have that barrier island out there, that spit of land, which is protecting us from the worst of the weather. But you get into places like Scituate and Hall, and you don't have that kind of protection. Let me take you to Boston right now, just up the coast. We're on the South Shore, and there's the skyline. A few flakes around Boston right now, light snow at Logan. Visibility is okay, but a lot of flights have been canceled so far today. 266 flights in and out of Logan. And as you heard Mark say a moment ago, after 7:30 tonight, you can put a fork in it. The airport will officially be open, but nothing's going to be coming in and out until at least Wednesday afternoon. Take a look at the situation now on the radar. Nothing imminent as far as heavy snow, the banding. All that will come in after sundown tonight. And again, reemphasizing midnight tonight through tomorrow afternoon. Best bet is to stay put. Don't drive anywhere. In fact, they may close a lot of these roadways until you have to stay off the roadways. And remember, the power may go out here and down towards the Cape. Make sure you have plenty of blankets. And the bottom line, do not use gas grills and do not use heaters inside. That's just dangerous. Too much carbon monoxide. Let's go south now. Long Island's going to take the brunt of this storm too. Reagan Medji is out in the eastern end of Long Island in Suffolk County. Reagan?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, you know, we did talk about the fact that this area is really going to start kicking up within the next couple of hours. It's kind of like a crescendo. We're in the village of Port Jefferson. You can see behind me some of the traffic. This is a year-round community, although it really starts ramping up in the summer, and you can kind of tell with kind of like the nautical feel because we're right next to a marina. Now, the mayor of this village says, you know, there's already she's declared a state of emergency for this village, meaning that if you have your cars parked on the side of the road, you want to get them off, and you might see some cars parked. I'm going to step over this way. You might see some cars parked on the side there. Those cars will have to get out of the way. At noon, about a half an hour ago, everything shut down here in terms of the government agencies, and you really need to hunker down. If we pan over here, you're going to see that there is a huge open area. There was a ferry there. If we go over this way, you might see another ferry over there. Those ferries will stop going to Connecticut at about 4:45 this afternoon. Normally, they go until 7:45. Why? Because of this blizzard. We're in Suffolk County, and of course, this area, if you go on the website of Suffolk County, it's going to tell you certain procedures and things you need to do to make sure that you and your family are safe. If we head west to Nassau County, again, they just had a press release, with a press conference within the hour, stating what you need to do to be prepared. You know, make sure that you have batteries on hand, you have a generator if you do have one. Also, make sure you have plenty of food and water, because if there are power outages associated with this storm, which could be likely because of all the wind, that could be a major issue. Now, if we head even more west, we go into New York City. That area has been bracing since yesterday. We had the mayor de Blasio. He said, you know what, you need to get everything, all your ducks in a line. We had people out earlier today taking pictures of everybody at the grocery stores getting what they need, and also the sanitation trucks with the salt, spreading the salt throughout the area. So, you know, it is definitely, you know, it's a sit and wait point at this hour, but, you know, we're going to be live all throughout the day. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Reagan. And how about this? The Boston Herald calling this the Blizzard of Oz. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jim is in town there. We're going to hear from him before our show is done. Massive problems.
All right, so keep it tuned right here as we will keep you updated for sure and keep you ahead of this big storm. Stay with us.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 72. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 49. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 71. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
Grandpa Bodie, Grandma said you used to be out of control.
Really? I guess I did take some risks. I trained a little bit differently. I was a little too honest sometimes. The media is useless.
You were out of control.
But not always.
I am never getting married.
Never.
Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
A little bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
There's enough pressure in our lives. Now, Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries are like the no-pressure zone. Imagine salespeople who'd rather listen to what you want than tell you what you want. And great-looking, affordable furniture everywhere. That makes you just want to sit down and never get up. Just walk right in and let the comfort happen.
Don't miss incredible savings throughout the store on a wide selection of great-looking furniture.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our Angie's List app. Visit angieslist.com today.
Temptation is toast with Special K protein cereal. Each hearty bowl is packed with protein and fiber. Satisfy your hunger with Special K. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Special K chocolate peanut butter protein meal bars are packed with protein and fiber. Satisfy your hunger with Special K.
Introducing the Starbucks Flat White. Crafted with 2 Ristretto shots. For bolder, caramelly espresso. Whole milk. Steamed to a sweet, velvety microfoam. Delicately poured. So the espresso rises to the top. The perfect union of bold and sweet. Simplicity is its own artistry.
Okay, we're keeping you updated on Winter Storm Juno impacting most of the Northeast. In fact, Pennsylvania's already seen impacts on its roads today. So joining us is Rich Kirkpatrick with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. Are any roads closed at this time?
No, everything is open. Obviously, we, like everyone else, are watching the forecast and being prepared for what happens tomorrow. Overnight, we had a closure of several hours northbound on Interstate 81 just outside of Harrisburg. A tractor-trailer went out of control, spilled its cargo, and I believe another tractor-trailer was involved, but that was cleared off and that was reopened this morning.
And so that was not really necessarily weather-related?
It may have been weather-related. Again, we've had our crews out, but sometimes it's the case that the tractor-trailers can't get the proper traction, and there was some sort of an incident, but that's been cleared and traffic is moving.
All right, so what steps are you taking right now to deal with the snow that has already fallen and your plans as we head into the future?
Well, we've got 2,200 trucks out across the state dealing with the storm that happened yesterday into today. For tomorrow, we're moving additional resources into the Philadelphia region and the Allentown-Bethlehem region to take care of the 95 corridor, Interstate 76 and 476. So we're amassing the proper resources. And again, if this hits tomorrow during rush hour, the best advice we can give people is to keep watching the Weather Channel, go to Pennsylvania 511 to keep abreast of conditions. Heavy snow and rush hours do not mix very well, so expect delays.
Oh, absolutely, they don't. But you haven't closed any schools or government buildings or anything for tomorrow?
No, there were some delays in the Harrisburg region this morning, but we're not at the point yet, at least not that we've seen, that there's been any mass closings.
All right, thanks very much. That's Rich Kirkpatrick, of course, with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, getting prepared for Winter Storm Juno. Now, it's moving into the Northeast as we go through the next 48 hours. Let's get more details from Mark now.
Yeah, talk about needing to be prepared. We're talking about Providence, Rhode Island, and the impacts from Juno. Our own Chris Warren is in Providence. We're going to hear from him at about 3 o'clock. But Providence, oof, these snow totals are going to be epic. We could be easily into the top 5. Here's Nemo, number 5 on the list, 18. Current forecast is for more than that across this area. Number 1 would be over 28.6 inches of snow. We'll see if we can get that high. Here's Providence right now. Some light snow has already begun to overspread the area, but this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, right? We've got this huge slog of moisture. This is going to get pushed into the area. You'll have that classic nor'easter banding set up shop. In fact, let's go through the worst of the timing for the Providence area. Here we go, right? As we go through the rest of the day, we really see that snow ramp up through the overnight, right about, let's say, 8 o'clock on through Tuesday, through our nighttime into Tuesday. My goodness, really heavy snow. It doesn't clear out all the way until about 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Here's Providence, and we're calling for more than 2 feet of snow. Again, remember, number 5 all time. 18 inches of snow. We're calling for 2 feet in Providence. We're easily going to get into the top 5, blowing snow right on through the next few hours. Viv, over to you.
All right, of course, we will keep you updated in terms of localized conditions, so keep it tuned to the Weather Channel. But we also want to give you a comprehensive look at this winter storm that we've named now. It's the 10th named storm of the season, and it's Juno, already bringing some light snow around the D.C. and Baltimore areas. But we don't think that you will get the brunt of the snow. The heaviest will be, say, from Philadelphia northward through New York City, through the Hartford area and Boston. We're talking anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow in some locations. And not only the snow in terms of the accumulations, but the blowing and the drifting of snow on the heels of 40, 50, 60, and maybe even 70 mile per hour wind. So that's why blizzard conditions are even expected. We have some 29 million people under blizzard warnings as we speak, because we are watching the gearing up of Winter Storm Juno. Again, look at the time frame in terms of the winds and how they will really pick up now. You talk about later on this afternoon, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, but look at tomorrow afternoon, up to 60, and there you have it, 75 mile per hour winds. That's winds of a hurricane now, as the area of low pressure really deepens off the coast here, and we get that counterclockwise flow around it. So those persistent northeast winds coming onshore, blowing the snow, creating some huge concerns. Also, coastal flooding will be our other concern as well, right along the coast. So keep it tuned to the Weather Channel. You know we're on top of this.
She inspires you. No question about that. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked? Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 72. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 49. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 71. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Seatbelts, headrests, and airbags help you survive a crash. But if you upgrade your headlights, you may even avoid one. See farther, wider, better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
The adventures you've been imagining. The heroes you've been admiring. The worlds you've been dreaming of. The thrills you've been craving. The moments you've been missing. The vacation you've been looking for is here. Come and take it. Universal Orlando Resort. Experience it all with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Vacation Package. Visit universalorlando.com.
You park your car. As you walk away, crunch. A garbage truck backs into it. So you call your insurance company looking for a little support. What you get is a game of 1,000 questions. Was it raining? Were your flashers on? Was there a dog with you? By the time you hang up, you're convinced the accident was your fault. Then you remember, you weren't even in the car.
At Liberty Mutual, we make filing a claim as stress-free as possible. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Ring, ring. Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Health reform has added significant new benefits to Medicare plans. If you have Medicare Part A, Part B, Part D, or any Medicare Advantage plan, you now get benefits with no copays, no deductibles, and can get dental, vision, and prescription coverage included. Call the Medicare Health Reform Helpline now to make sure you have all the benefits you're entitled to. Call the Medicare Health Reform Helpline now to update your plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Buchwald. The cost of health insurance and the denial of coverage because of pre-existing conditions has been a serious problem in America. But now the law has changed. Healthcare reform is now available. So many people do not take advantage of the benefits offered to them by healthcare reform because they don't call. Call now.
The Medicare Health Reform Helpline is now accepting calls. Don't miss the deadline. Call the Medicare Health Reform Helpline.
Call 800-399-2752. That's 800-399-2752. 800-399-2752.
Welcome back to our non-ending coverage of Winter Storm Juno. We need you to be aware of this storm, so we're going city by city for you. The impacts in Hartford, Connecticut, and the immediate surrounding area. We start things out with what we've seen so far, which was one light snow band that came through, a little bit of flurry action, but that was just the beginning. We zoom out for you, and we can see a slug of moisture is off the coast, moving through Jersey. This is all moving north, and once it starts snowing, it is going to really come down. Let's go through some of the timing for you here as we work our way through the night tonight. Starting around 10 to 11 o'clock, this is when the worst of the worst moves in. It'll stay as hemorrhaging snow through about 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. So we've got at least 12 hours of that very heavy snowfall before it totally leaves by Tuesday night. So what does that mean for Hartford? Well, we're calling for 18 to 24 inches of snow through Wednesday morning. But again, the bulk of that from 10 p.m. tonight through 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So we're going to see a lot of snow coming in at a fairly short period of time. That'll make travel absolutely hazardous. Look at this. Wind up to 25, gusts to 30, blowing and drifting snow. Viv, over to you.
As you mentioned, Mark, this is a huge storm. Will be historic, we do believe. Winter Storm Juno. It has some comparisons, actually, with Nemo, not to even mention 4-letter names as well as ending in O. But nonetheless, we're watching it very closely. Look at Philadelphia. Reports of some light snow moving through the city right now. We don't think that you will get as heavy amounts in terms of accumulating snow as what we will find off to your north and east over northern New Jersey, including around the New York City area, Hartford, Boston. I mean, you will get slammed with this winter storm. But we wanted to show you what's going on right now, and you can see some of the sprawling winter weather. Of course, all the blue is indicating where it is snowing. The green, of course, over the open, warmer waters here of the Atlantic, and so we have generally rain here, but all of that moisture will be pulled back into the colder air as it spills southward from Canada. So the two coming together. And we're not talking about just an ordinary area of low pressure. This will be an extreme area of low pressure, meaning the pressures will be down some 900 millibars, and the average atmospheric pressure now is about 1,013 millibars. So this is dropping down to about 970 or 960 millibars. So a very deepening and intense area of low pressure. Nonetheless, that's going to bring back, again, all of the moisture and the energy with it, and the wind energy will be just extreme across this area. And for that reason, we do have blizzard advisories. Some 29 million people under blizzard warnings. And here we go, right on through Thursday, or should I say Wednesday morning. That's when we'll get the brunt of the heaviest snow. But you know, we will be here until the last flake flies in the area, but very, very heavy amounts across much of the Northeast over the next 48 hours. Mark?
Thanks, Viv. You know, let's go in depth now as to why we're going to see so much snow with this. And it actually has a lot to do with the temperatures. We look at the snow just starting off here across the Northeast corridor. But let's change this to the temperatures that we're seeing across the area right now. Right now, there's already cold air in place. Unlike the past couple of storms, it is plenty cold out here. Teens and 20s through the area that's going to get some of the heaviest snow. And during the heart of the snow, which will occur Tuesday night, so our Tuesday morning low temperatures, look at this, 16 in Albany, 20 to 23 from Providence and central Connecticut all the way up through Boston. So what does that do to our actual snowfall amounts? Well, the typical snow, when you start to see snow when it falls right about at 32, like what we had with our last storm, that's the classic what we call 10-to-1 ratio. Assuming 1 inch of liquid water coming into the area, you'd get 10 inches of snow. Now with this storm, we're probably going to get pretty close to an inch of that precipitation, but the temperatures are not near that 32-degree line. Instead, they're significantly cooler. Cool it down to 24 to 25 degrees, and that snow ratio changes to 15-to-1. Instead of 10 inches of snow, you're now talking 15 inches of snow, and many areas will actually be seeing snowfall at about 19 to 20 degrees, which will quickly change this up to a 20-to-1 ratio. That's how we can get this much snow. It's thanks to these temperatures that we're seeing. Viv, over to you.
All right, and we thank you so much for helping us cover this story and getting the word out. But we want to remind you that we'd like to see all of your pictures, your video. Just text the word Juno to 99000 and be sure to hold your phone horizontally when capturing the video, because that just makes it a little easier for us, and you just may see your images on air or online. And speaking of online, if you have to leave your home, you don't have to leave us. We're streaming our live coverage around the clock on weather.com.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 72. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 49. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 71. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Debilitating, crippling, historic. These are all words we are using to describe Winter Storm Juno.
And we have live, expert-filled, extended coverage that's going to get you through the afternoon over the next 48 hours.
We are tracking, we are timing, we are showing you the impacts. We are here to make sure you are covered ahead of this storm. Hello, and thanks for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott. You know, we've been following this storm and the major impacts it'll have.
Yeah, and the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, is having a live conference right now. Let's listen in.
Afternoon and evening, and FDNY will be adding an additional 500 staff. 500 FDNY members will be on duty in addition to our normal complement. All of the city agencies have been working very, very hard over these last days to prepare. I want to thank them all for their conscientious work. I remind you, particularly for sanitation, which has the responsibility for clearing our roads, for Department of Transportation, which has responsibility for coordinating everything about the upkeep of our roads. They have 6,000 miles of streets to cover, the equivalent of going from here to Los Angeles and back. And they're going to have to do that work constantly under intense pressure. And that's again why I say to all my fellow New Yorkers, we can help by getting out of the way of the sanitation vehicles, by getting out of the way of the emergency vehicles so they can do their job. The latest forecast we have from the National Weather Service still has us around 2 feet of snow, but again, we have learned in past storms that can change at any time. Storms can speed up, slow down, they can get smaller, they can get bigger. We are preparing for at least what that forecast is suggesting, if not worse. We certainly know we're going to have very high winds. We know we're going to have low visibility. We know we're going to have lots of conditions that make travel unsafe. We will be giving you constant updates as we get information. But everything we know so far makes clear you can't underestimate this storm. This is not a typical storm. It's going to pack a real punch, and we have to expect heavy accumulation in a very short period of time. There's another crucial point. Some storms come in a measured manner. This is going to come in a sudden spurt of activity. We saw some flurries this morning, and that has largely dissipated. But what you're going to see in a few hours is something that hits very hard and very fast, and people cannot be caught off guard. Best thing to do, stay indoors, stay off the road, stay off the sidewalks. And this is something I want people to start acting on as quickly as possible. In the next hours, we want people who can get home to get home early, to get out of work as early as you can, get home. But as the evening progresses and the snow intensifies, it will not be an optional matter. As part of our emergency declaration, I'm ordering that at 11 o'clock tonight, our streets will only be available to emergency vehicles. So all non-emergency vehicles need to be off the streets of New York City by 11 p.m. tonight. And we will continue that emergency declaration until the situation is safe. So from 11 p.m. on tonight, no non-emergency vehicles on the streets, and that is going to be the policy until we state otherwise. We need to let sanitation, police, fire do their jobs, and this is the way we will guarantee that. On the way home this evening, again, the earlier you can leave, the better. If you can take mass transit, that is a priority to do so. If you are driving, expect tough conditions with each passing hour this evening. Go slow, take a lot of precautions. Even walking, be careful this evening as this storm will intensify very quickly. If you have any evidence, if you happen to take, for example, for-hire vehicles, if you have any evidence of people taking advantage of this emergency to unfairly and illegally raise the prices of their rides, it is important to call 311 and report it. Price gouging in the context of an emergency is illegal. If you experience it, please call 311 and the Taxi and Limousine Commission will investigate right away. Amplifying what I said yesterday, I want all New Yorkers at the end of this afternoon at 6 p.m. to stay out of our parks. We will close our parks at 6 p.m. There will be the potential danger falling tree branches that can be very dangerous, especially as snow accumulates so rapidly. So from 6 p.m. on, all parks closed. As for our schools, we're officially announcing the school will be closed tomorrow, Tuesday. So please emphasize to your audiences, schools will be closed tomorrow. In addition, the Regents exams that were scheduled for tomorrow will be canceled tomorrow and rescheduled to a time shortly in the future. All after-school programs this afternoon, school trips, evening adult education programs all canceled. Comes to parking, alternate side parking canceled today, canceled tomorrow, Tuesday, canceled Wednesday as well. Garbage and recycling pickups will be suspended throughout the snow clearing operation. So today, tomorrow, very likely into Wednesday as well, if not beyond. Again, if New Yorkers need information, need to get more information about help available to them, 311 is the best bet, or go online at nyc.gov. But if there's a real emergency, anything life-threatening, that's when you call 911. In terms of some of our most vulnerable New Yorkers, the Department of Homeless Services is out looking for those who are homeless who can be brought into safety. If you see someone homeless who is in danger, call 911. If it's an immediate, urgent danger, again, if it's life-threatening, call 311. If it's a typical situation, if it's life-threatening, call 911. People who have any problems with heat and hot water, please report immediately to 311 so we can act on it now. Any heat and hot water disruptions, call 311 immediately. As I say, every time we face one of these situations, we as New Yorkers can help our fellow New Yorkers, our neighbors, by checking in on them, particularly if they happen to be senior citizens or disabled, or people have any special need. It's important to be there for your neighbors. Check on them today, check on them tomorrow, make sure they have what they need. The bottom line here is the thousands and thousands of people who work for this city are going to be out there doing a lot to keep us safe, but we have to keep each other safe. We have to look out for each other. We also have to do the right thing by this entire city by getting off the streets and staying indoors so they can do their work. A few words in Spanish. La ciudad está trabajando duro en preparación para esta severa tormenta de nieve. Se espera mucha nieve desde hoy hasta mañana. Estamos tomando todas las medidas para garantizar la seguridad de todos los neoyorquinos.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. That was Bill de Blasio talking about the threat for New York City and largely in the Northeast as well. Let's go to our snowfall accumulation map, because this is what we think is going to end up being the snowfall total. At least that's our thinking now. Doesn't mean it's going to change a little bit, because, you know, little wiggles in the forecast track of the storm make a big difference in the total outcome. This is what we're thinking right now. Eastern Massachusetts is going to get hammered. I think that's been sort of the consensus and the theme all along, with likely in excess of 2 feet, not far from Boston, and especially in southeastern Massachusetts, say, for example, near Taunton. But you go farther to the west in New York City, there's some uncertainty here, much more so than in eastern New England, for example, in the Hudson Valley and in New York City proper. Exactly how much snow are you going to get there? Well, the models have been trending a little bit less over the last, I would say, several runs, say in the last 24 hours, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's look at the data, though, right now and show you where it's snowing. Let's have a look at New York City, for example. They're reporting some light snow, as is many locations right now on Long Island, but it's light, fluffy snow. Visibilities generally are 1 to 2 miles. So that's not so bad. That tells you that you can see pretty far. So the snow is not coming down at a crazy clip. But up in Boston, you see a little bit of snow. Just last hour I looked at the visibility there was about 2 miles. But all of it's going to get a lot worse as we move through the late afternoon and overnight hours tonight. There's no doubt about that, especially in eastern New England. Looking at the satellite charts, you can kind of see why if you're familiar with looking at exactly these types of animations. This is upper level cloud cover, essentially. And I'm looking at this, guys, and I'm seeing a whole lot of energy still way back there swirling around across parts of western North Carolina and also even farther to the south, though it's hard to detect to the untrained eye. but the trained eye can see little details in there, guys. I'm seeing a couple of areas of upper level spin that have yet to really get absorbed in this whole circulation. And once they do, it's going to strengthen very quickly. We're going to see pressures eventually fall fairly quickly off the Carolina coast, and then the whole thing is going to be moving off in that direction. But right now, overall, pressure falls are not that quick. In other words, we're waiting for this upper level spin and this upper level energy to come back around and drop those pressures and strengthen the storm. It'll only be a few more hours before it does. But right now, the pressure, last hour I looked, around 1,003 millibars. So that's not real high or real low in your home barometers, but I'm telling you what, it's going to get a lot lower than that. And with this high pressure system up there, that's going to stay in place. That's going to be locked there. And so when this low pressure comes here, you're going to strengthen the pressure difference in that zone called the pressure gradient. And that is going to bring some very strong winds to the region. So let's time it out as we go through this afternoon. You can see snow will begin to develop, become more widespread and consistent in its coverage, especially tonight. Now we've got some dark blues in here suggesting perhaps some heavy snow developing from New York City on northeastward into Boston overnight tonight in earnest, and then tomorrow, guys, it is going to get very bad overnight, probably the worst of it all between 4 a.m. and 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and then the storm heads out into the Canadian Maritimes, but still lingers in eastern New England, bringing very strong winds and exceptional snowfall totals to eastern New England, where our own Mike Seidel is right now in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And Mike, it's starting to snow, or if it isn't, it's coming soon. Tell us how it is.
It is coming soon, and you talked about that gradient of pressure. We're going to feel that out here. That wind is going to howl right across the water out beyond the barrier island. That is the Atlantic, so there's nothing to break the wind. We don't have the friction, the trees, and the buildings that you have inland. Not that it's not going to howl inland either, but out here we can see gusts to hurricane force. Right now we're gusting at about 20, a little over 20 miles an hour, just a few light flakes moving through the area. Another big impact, the airport in Boston, Logan, effectively after about 7:30 tonight, nothing's going to go in and out of there until Wednesday afternoon, we're told. And we did hear from MEMA this morning. That's the Massachusetts Emergency Management folks.
We usually prepare worst case scenario anyway. That being said, we literally just got off a phone call with the National Weather Service, and they're talking about throwing words around like historical, monstrous. So from that perspective, yeah, we are preparing for the worst.
And we just found out in the past hour that MEMA, and we've heard from Massport, that the mass transit system in Boston will not run tomorrow. So another reason just to stay put tomorrow, get what you need today, and just stay inside. The worst of the weather, midnight to about 6 p.m. That's an 18-hour window. No need to go anywhere. Somebody else who's not going anywhere, Jim Cantori, our storm tracker, he's in Boston. He was on this morning. He'll be back on. There he is on the front page of the Boston Herald this morning. It's the Blizzard of Oz. And as I said on Twitter, Jim's not in Kansas anymore. He'll be up there. I'll be here for you overnight and tomorrow. We'll keep you updated. And don't forget to grab that video. And if you have a GoPro camera, get that GoPro camera out and get some great video and get it to us. Make sure you do it safely. Let's head up to Long Island, Suffolk County, eastern end of Long Island. They're going to get whacked up there. Reagan Medge is going to be roaming the island as best she can. Right now she's out there with the update this afternoon. Reagan, good afternoon.
Well, that's good afternoon there, Mike. Yeah, that's right. You know, everybody here is kind of hunkering down or beginning to hunker down. We're at the Bridgeport Port Jefferson ferry terminal. You can see the ferry behind me is starting to park in. You're going to start seeing some cars coming off the ferry. This ferry service usually goes until 7:45 at night. It's, you know, really back and forth to Connecticut. However, it is going to be ending at 4:45 this afternoon. And why? We're going to show you right over here. We're going to show you the front board over here, what they're telling everybody. And it's kind of clear. It's basically what we've been telling you. Due to Blizzard Juno, last departure Monday, 4:45, blizzard warning, and all of that, so on and so forth. Now, if we walk this way, we're going to show you the downtown area. And I do want to make mention, a lot of people in this residential community, also a very summer-like community, go and commute back and forth to New York City for work. And if you go about a mile up the road here, this is Main Street to the left, you'll go to the LIRR. That's the Long Island Railroad. Today, because of the weather the way it is, they're actually having 26 more trains take people from New York out to here, and they're going to be running service until 11 o'clock tonight when they're going to be ending, and then throughout the day tomorrow they're just going to be watching the tracks to make sure that they're not frozen. So this is what's happening in the village of Port Jefferson, which is under a state of emergency, asking everybody to stay indoors. Guys, back to you.
Reagan, thanks so much. Man, the winds are going to be whipping there, and with the snow and the low cloudiness and, well, planes like that, we're going to have significant ripple effects through the air traffic system. Right now, as you can see, it is the eastern seaboard that's already starting to be the focal point. Philadelphia, you are in code orange. Moderate delays already showing up for you. Now, when planes have delays there, one of the major hubs across the country, it means that plane might not get to its destination on time, and so there will be ripple effects. Checking out the number of cancellation as of 9 a.m., the nationwide total is already over 2,000. And look, these are at the main 5 airports. A lot of this coming from American Airlines, which has canceled a lot of their flights out of these airports. But Philadelphia has about an hour or so delay already. So we're talking about cancellations and delays. If you have any ability to switch your flight to an earlier one, if you're trying to get out of those that Northeast corridor, now's the time to call ahead and see if you can get on that flight before the heavy snow begins. We're going to go over not only the travel impacts, but the real-time impacts for you when we return.
There's a myth out there that you can't do it all, that you can't be everything to everyone. Well, consider that myth shattered. This is the full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City, built to help you run the town from every direction.
Sir, we're going to need you on the runway later.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back. Get Theraflu. It has the power of 3 medicines to take on your worst pain and fever, cough, and nasal congestion. Theraflu breaks you free from your toughest cold and flu symptoms, so you never miss a day. Theraflu. Serious power.
I thought it would be fun, so I went on Ancestry.com, and this little leaf gave me a hint, and that led me to another leaf and another hint. I was like the family detective. Then I found out that one of my ancestors actually was a detective. So I'm like the other family detective.
Visit Ancestry.com and discover the world's largest online family history resource.
You don't have to know what you're looking for. You just have to start looking.
Your discovery starts right now on Ancestry.com.
Here are the keys, man. It's all mine?
Parenthood isn't gonna change me. I'll still see the guys every weekend and rock out in the basement. Please.
Hey, where are you?
I'm still king of this castle.
Lots of good features. You're gonna love the backseat pocket.
It's not like I'm gonna get a minivan.
Life can surprise you. So can an Allstate agent. Now they can save you $3,000 on a new car with the Allstate Car Buying Service. The good hands are doing more than ever before.
Weather invention. Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked? Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Everything from my home, everything from me. Wayfair, you've got just what I need. Even when I'm picky, you've got something that's right. And you organize me when I need things out of sight. Every room, ceiling to floor, you've got just what I need. Wayfair, you've got just what I need. Everything from my home, everything from me. 70% off and shipping was free. Wayfair.
Everything home, all in one place. Shop today's sales at wayfair.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma. Call toll-free 1-800-200-6120 or go to mesoonly.com. There's no obligation, so call toll-free at 1-800-200-6120.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
If you have Medicare Part D, Walgreens gets that you might be at the corner of looking for a good deal, and sheesh, I wish I'd look some more. That's why Walgreens makes it easy to switch your prescriptions and save money. Just stop by and leave all the legwork to us. Switch your prescriptions to Walgreens, where you could save even more on Medicare Part D with copays as low as $0 at the corner of happy and healthy.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 72. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 49. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 71. Here's our 7-day outlook.
With a historic and potentially crippling storm on the way, we need you to know about these impacts. We're going to zoom in on New York and the surrounding area and show you hour by hour what we're anticipating. Light snow has already overspread the area. Zooming into New York City, we can see some of the bands of snow already moving on through, but this is just the beginning. We can time this out for you, showing you the heart of the impacts here. When we get into tonight, right about 10 p.m. or so, we get into the worst of the weather from New York City east on Long Island. Then it takes us through the night into early tomorrow morning. You don't get out of the worst of it until about 10 a.m. and then the light snow moves out through the day Tuesday into Wednesday overnight. So what does that mean for you for snowfall totals? My goodness, 12 to 18 from New York, but look what happens on Long Island. 18 to 24 inches of windswept snow. Really bad impacts here. Power outages because of the snow and the wind looking likely, especially on Long Island. A windswept snow on the way. Vivian, over to you.
And talk about this storm and put it in its proper perspective. I mean, Winter Storm Juno will be a big one. Look at Boston now. The most recent biggest storm on the top 5 is, of course, Nemo. Remember back in 2013 where we had almost 25 inches. And the biggest storm that we've had in the Boston area was back in 2003. That's when we had 27.6 inches. So we're talking about Winter Storm Juno being in the top 5, perhaps, if this forecast pans out, and we really do believe that it will. We have a lot of confidence, in particular for the Boston area. Already some light snow being reported officially at the airport, and then we have some light snow a little farther south too, including around the LaGuardia Airport and even Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, reporting some light snow. But again, this is just a beginner radar, because as we go through the next 36 to 48 hours, this radar will be lit up all across the board here in New England. Not only are we talking about the snow in terms of heavy accumulations, but also the winds will be blowing and drifting the snow, and that's going to really create some problems in terms of blizzard conditions. Blizzard warnings have been issued. Look how the winds will be picking up as we go through time. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, those winds out of the northeast could be in excess of 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, and that again is hurricane force winds, and that blowing all of the snow around. That's why we'll get the blizzard conditions. So please, please be prepared. This is a big one. Back to you, Mark.
Well, with New York and the surrounding area seeing snow, there are concerns about power. The forecast calls for what could be one of the area's largest snowfalls on record. Joining us now is Karen Johnson with the Public Service Enterprise Group, PSE&G. What are you guys doing right now to prepare for the potential outages in your area?
Well, right now we've really scheduled all available personnel so that they are ready to respond once the storm passes through. So we have about 600 of our own linemen ready. We have about 115 additional contractor linemen, and we have about 300 tree crews who are ready to go out and clear down trees should that occur with this storm.
And then have you already asked for help from out of state? Are you guys getting mutual aid on the way in?
We don't anticipate needing out-of-state mutual aid. As I said, we do have about 115 contractor linemen that are available in the state to help us out.
We have about 30 seconds left, but give us a summary of what you guys learned because of Sandy moving through your area just a few years ago. What kind of additional steps and additional preparation steps are there because of that storm in the same region?
Well, what we've been doing is really stepping up our customer communication. So we now have texting capability for customers to text us, let us know if they have a power outage, and then receive a text back letting them know the status. We also are using social media to reach out to our customers and keep them informed about safety information as well as restoration efforts.
All right, Karen Johnson, PSE&G, thanks so much for taking your time with us. Of course, Winter Storm Juno making its effects known already in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. They saw 3 inches of snow, an additional 3 to 5 tonight. We're going to break it down for your town next.
Before ISS, before Hubble, we built the most extraordinary machine. Stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Always exploring.
Alka-Seltzer Plus presents The Cold Truth.
I have a cold with terrible chest congestion. Better take something. I'll catch up later.
Truth is, Theraflu Severe Cold doesn't treat chest congestion.
Really?
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Day Powder rushes relief to your worst cold symptoms plus chest congestion.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Here we go! And now, Alka-Seltzer Plus has a complete line of powders to treat your worst cold symptoms.
Thanks for the ride around Norfolk. And I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories.
During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event, now through March 2nd, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and receive your first 2 months' payments on us, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
At the end of the day, my hands are beat up.
Especially during the winter times, hands are splitting, cracking, making it very difficult to do my job.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
Best stuff we've ever used.
It just works.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
You show up. You stay up. You listen. You laugh. You worry. You do whatever it takes to take care of your family. And when it's time to plan for your family's future, we're here for you. We're LegalZoom, and for over 10 years, we've helped families just like yours with wills, living trusts, and more. Visit us today for legal help you can count on. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
I will light up every room I walk into.
Olay presents the Regenerist Luminous Collection. Renew surface cells to even skin tone. In just 2 weeks, see pearlescent luminous skin. Regenerist Luminous. Olay, your best beautiful.
Before ISS, before Hubble, we built the most extraordinary machine. Stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Always exploring.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantore, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy and windy. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 72. Winds west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear skies. Low 49. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 71. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stay with us for the latest on Winter Storm Juno.
Just absolutely unbearable.
We're live from across the region with more in a moment. Only the Weather Channel.
You're watching the Weather Channel, and we are so happy that you are, because we have to tell you about Winter Storm Juno. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Mark Elliott. We are here on an extended edition of Weather Center Live to take you hour by hour as you prepare for this beast of a storm, Winter Storm Juno.
It is definitely a beast of a storm. We want to get you caught up on what's going on right now with this system.
Yeah, you know, the governors of Massachusetts and New Jersey have already declared a state of emergency ahead of Juno. We anticipate more states in the path to do the same. Philadelphia also declaring a snow emergency as of 6 p.m. today. This requires people to remove their vehicles from those designated snow emergency routes so the plows can come on through.
Also, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced that at a press conference that all public schools will be closed tomorrow. That's Tuesday. Airlines have canceled more than 5,000 flights today and tomorrow because of this winter storm. Again, Winter Storm Juno has already prompted winter weather advisories, where you see the lighter blue, the darker blue. Those are winter storm warnings, meaning winter storm conditions will be impacting the area within a 24-hour period. Now look at the blizzard warnings. They extend from the coast of Maine all the way down to the Jersey Shore.
Just a huge expanse of real estate here with a potential for a lot of snow. And tracking that potential is our own Dr. Greg Postel. He's in the lab with the latest update. Doc, what are you watching?
Watching snow move through New York City. That's getting a little bit heavier right now as we speak. Let's go to how much snow we think we're going to get to the entire event right now. There we go on the map. You know, we're very confident on eastern Massachusetts getting slammed with snow. I said yesterday morning 20 to 30 inches. That still looks pretty good. Right across that zone where we've got 2 feet plus in that area shaded in pink. A little bit more uncertainty, though, is how much snow is going to fall to the southwest across parts of the lower Hudson Valley, New York City, tri-state area, northeastern New Jersey, and Long Island. I think eastern Long Island is going to get a lot, maybe up to 1.5, 2 feet, but then western Long Island and New York City, a little bit less, and I'll talk about that in a second. I'll promise you I'll get to that map this time around. We've got snow breaking out across New York City. In fact, it's getting a little bit heavier as we speak. Let's go to a shot here. I think this is Rockefeller Center there, looking down across the region, maybe towards Central Park. It looks like it's snowing pretty hard now. Visibility's come down under 2 miles, so snow is picking up across the region, and it's going to be doing that the afternoon, and of course in many other locations in southern New England as well, guys. So that's the story this afternoon. Snow will be expanding in coverage and increasing in intensity. There's light snow going all across parts of southeastern Massachusetts. A real light, fluffy stuff, but it's going to get harder and it's going to get windier across the region, thanks in part to the upper level dynamics. The strong upper level energy that's really going to kick this thing off is still on the satellite pictures. Guys, it's still in pieces. There's some swirly action here. There's some swirly action there, and you know, to the I sort of mapped it out here in a better way to show you that there's a couple of areas of spin that I'm watching that are going to come together. One here and one there, and they're going to join forces in a matter of hours off the Carolina coast. And when that upper level energy kind of merges, we're going to see significant development of this low pressure system, which now only about 1,003. But it's going to be strengthening very quickly on a track like that and bring snow on its northwest side throughout the late afternoon and overnight hours and through tomorrow mostly. Let's have a look and time it out for everybody, showing you that those areas in dark blue, watch out for some heavy snow through tonight. Things really get bad. The snow comes down harder, the wind comes down stronger, or moves through stronger, and we are going to have blizzard conditions all across that zone, guys, overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, particularly along the I-95 corridor between between New York and Boston, and even northeastward from there through Portland and down East Maine. Can't forget about you guys. Your guys are going to get hammered too. So this is a wide-ranging snowstorm that is going to impact many millions of people in a very small geographical area of the Northeast. So let's talk about some of those model differences, shall we, in the amount of snow that's going to happen in, for example, parts of the lower Hudson Valley. The European model from last night for about Tuesday morning had the strong low pressure there with this amount of snow across the region. But look at some of the other models, much less aggressive with the amount of snow. This is a small regional model trying to sort of analyze all the little individual bands inside of the larger storm complex, and it's got much less snow across southwestern New England and in the New York State, or southeastern New York State. So, for example, what does this mean for you across the region in the Euro model? New York gets 12 to 18 inches, guys. But in some of the other higher resolution models, trying to pick out individual snow bands, it doesn't do so much. My thinking overall, I would lean toward the Euro rather than this. So I would think somewhere between 8 and 12 at least on the low end in the New York City area. Guys, stay tuned for all the latest, because there's a lot of variability still to sort out in the models. But right now I'm going to send it over to Mike Seidel, who is in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where I know conditions there are getting worse. Mike.
And Dr. Postel, we want to talk about the situation on the coast as far as the wave action and the surge right here in the water at Plymouth. The tide is coming in now. Boy, it does come in fast up here. You have a big tidal range at this latitude. And the worst of the surge will be between 3 and 5 tomorrow morning. Not only here, Scituate, Hall, Sandwich, up on the North Shore around Revere. And Dr. Postel, not only tomorrow morning's high tide, but the afternoon high tide tomorrow afternoon. Although the winds may back off a little bit, we're going to have that consistent onshore flow.
You know, that's exactly right, Mike. And I'm not so sure that that second high tide is going to be any less impactful in terms of storm surge than the first one, because the storm is not going to be moving very quickly away from eastern Massachusetts during the day tomorrow. We do have coastal flood warnings across that region. You can see on the map there. And what we've got is a very strong wind by, say, 3 o'clock this afternoon. That is going to be picking up overnight tonight. We're going to have wind gusts of 60 to 75 miles per hour even tomorrow morning, and things will not be much better as we go through the early afternoon hours tomorrow, guys. So this is going to be a big event, not just in terms of snow and wind for inland conditions, but Mike, you're exactly right. Storm surge perhaps up to 2 to 4 feet across that region.
Yeah, and we talked about this morning. This may have more impact than tropical storms do. On the coast here, it may actually cut some new bays. Let me give you some breaking information on travel and transit out of Boston the past couple of hours. They have canceled schools, Boston Public Schools, for tomorrow and Wednesday. And likewise, that'll be the case across all of this area. Governor Charlie Baker has also issued a state of emergency and a midnight travel ban for non-essential folks. So starting at midnight tonight, if you're not essential, police, fire, rescue, you need to get off the roads and sit tight through tomorrow. That's a non-essential travel ban. Midnight tonight in the state of Massachusetts. Also, the snow emergency kicks in at 6 in Boston. They'll start towing your vehicles at 8 o'clock this evening. And mass transit, as of midnight, will shut down in Boston. Let's go to Reagan Medji. There's going to be transit issues across New York City. And even the Long Island Railroad, Medji, I assume, will have some major impacts by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. You know, we're going to have about 26 extra trains leaving New York City to get out here to Long Island. We're on Long Island in Suffolk County. We're also in Port Jefferson. And before I go any further, there's a declaration of a state of emergency here. And I'm with the mayor, Margot Garant. So why declare a state of emergency?
We need to make sure everybody goes home early. Port Jefferson is historically known as the village of 7 hills. We got major hills here. You can see the roads are starting to ice up. We wanted to make sure everybody was home by noontime today so DPW can get out and do their job.
Yeah, and you guys say you're no stranger to this natural weather phenomena. I mean, we had Nemo, then we had Sandy, and now we got Juno.
Yeah, so we've learned some major lessons from Irene, Sandy, and Nemo, and we're calling Juno Nemo's first cousin. We anticipate some really accumulating moisture. We're going to get heavy snow. The winds that come off the sound are pretty devastating to the North Shore. So we're getting prepared.
And you want people to stay home. This is like the big call to action.
Please stay home from noontime today to noontime Wednesday. Major snow is going to fall. We need everybody to stay inside so DPW can get the roads cleared and get us back up and running. And the best thing they can do is stay home so we can do our jobs.
And get the cars off the road.
Cars off the roads, park in the parking lots or in your driveway so we can get the snow cleared, and then we can help dig you guys out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Margot. So, no, this is obviously, you know, it's a serious situation. If you look at the roadways. You can see within minutes we've been here, they already are starting becoming snow covered. This is just the beginning. This is not the end. This is the beginning, and this is why you need to stay off the roadway so the crews can make sure that they continue to salt and plow. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Reagan. Man, a monster storm on the way, and changes are going to be coming in fast and furious now that the moisture's moving through.
Yes, everybody should be at their destination at least by 5 o'clock this evening in the Boston area, New York City, all areas in between. Please get prepared for this one.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, windy with a mix of clouds and sun. Slight chance of a rain shower. High 73. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 49. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Guess what goes really well with eggs? Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make breakfast even better. Grand's biscuits make breakfast pop.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there.